Hi friends, welcome to Crack Grade B. So we are back with yet another important lecture for your upcoming exam that is NABARD Grade A. Okay, so I hope your preparation is going well. So this is one of the important MCQ series that we are learning, and one of the important lecture we are bringing out to you with a recent RBI report on UCB, right, in the form of MCQ. So in this particular one lecture, we have tried to cover all the important point with the data points as well, right? So let's begin. Recently, August 2021, RBI released the report of the expert committee on primary urban cooperative banks, who from the following was the chairman of the expert committee, right? So, Shri N.S. Vishwanathan, Shri M.K. Jain, Shri B.P. Kanungo, Shri T. Ravishankar, none of the above. So, who from this is the chairman of the expert committee? Pause the video, just check if you can answer the question. Let's proceed with the answer. So, the answer to this question is Shri N.S. Vishwanathan. He is a former RBI deputy governor. So let us see the details. So the details are RBI formed this expert committee on Feb 15, 2021. Right? So one of the important thing that you need to remember. Now, expert committee on what? Expert committee on primary urban cooperative bank under the chairmanship of Shri N.S. Vishwanathan, former deputy governor of RBI. This much is the only thing that you will have to remember. Right? Let's proceed with question number 2. The expert committee recommended that based on the cooperativeness of the banks, availability of capital and other factors, UCB may be categorized into how many categories? Means the expert committee has recommended the UCBs to get categorized into how many categories? Okay, 2, 4, 3, 5, and 6. Pause the video, try to answer it now. Let's proceed with the answer. So the answer is 4. Okay, let us see the details. Okay, so we are going to see the details of question number 2 and question number 3 together. Now, question number 3. As per the expert committee recommendation to categorize UCB into 4 different categories. So the previous answer was 4, right? So here also into 4 different categories for regulatory purpose. Identify the correct definition for tier 2 category. That's the question. All unit UCB and salary earner UCB irrespective of deposit side, and all other UCB having deposit up to rupees 100 crore, or UCB with deposits more than 100 crore and up to 1000 crore, UCB with deposit more than 1000 crore and up to 10,000 crore, UCB with deposit more than 10,000 crore, or use none of the above. So which is the correct answer? So the correct answer is UCB with deposits more than 100 crore and up to 1000 crore. So this is the correct definition for tier 2 category, right? Now let us see the description for both question number 2 and question number 3. So what is the recommendation? So the recommendation is the regulation of cooperative bank by the RBI so far has largely been restricted to the banking business. See, now what happens is, who is RBI? RBI is the regulator for all the banks. But for UCB, what the committee has seen that RBI is regulating only banking business with governance, audit, reconstruction, and amalgamation. So everything is with RBI. But read from here. Winding up related function being in the domain of the state government in case of a single state bank, that is bank whose area of operation is confined to a single state, right? And the central government in case of a multi-state bank, that is bank whose area of operation extend to more than one state. Got it? So issues related to winding up, So this function is being carried forward by the respective state government. So if the banking business of that particular bank is confined to that particular state, right? And if it is a multi-state bank, then it's central government who is doing it, right? So RBI do not have any power on that front. So now the committee recommends, based on the cooperativeness of the bank, availability of capital and other factors, UCB may be categorized into following four tiers for regulatory purpose, right? So this four category you will have to remember: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4, right? So I have read this in the question option, so I won't be reading it, but pause the video, read the entire thing. And if you are the student of track grade B, so you are going to get the material. Do not worry about that. Now, let's proceed with question number 4. What is the gross NPA for Urban Cooperative Bank as on March 31st, 2020? Right? So, this is a data point that is there in the report. So, that's why it's become important. So, what's the gross NPA? Now, 5.26, 10.96, 7.26, 8.93 on none of the above, which is the correct answer. So the correct answer is 10.96 is the gross NPA. So now what is gross, sorry, gross NPA versus net NPA? Although this minute details are not important, but yes, if we are discussing, so let us discuss. See, gross NPA is if the principal plus interest is unpaid to the bank, right? So that's the gross NPA. Okay, so that's the gross NPA. And if you deduct, so let's say we'll get certain amount, the amount is X. Now you know bank in every quarter provisions keep some amount as provisioning to NPA. So if you subtract that amount, provisioning amount, so pardon for my handwriting. Okay, if you subtract that, the amount that we are going to get will be called as net NPA, right? So I hope this gross NPA and net NPA is clear to you. Now, let's move forward. So again, details of question number 4 and question number 5 has been put together. Let us see question number 5. What is the share of deposit for UCB in banking sector? What is the share of deposit? Now, what is the meaning of this question? Let us understand first. Let us say this is a pie chart for 100%. Okay, so this is completely hypothetical data. Let's say the X percentage is being held by public sector bank. Okay, so Y percentage is being held. So this is deposit. Y percentage is being held by private bank. Some small percentage is held by foreign bank, small finance bank. Okay, A percentage. So like that. Okay, now this is UCB, B percentage, and whatever it is, right? So now what is share of deposit? Let's say entire banking sector has 100 rupees as a deposit, right? So out of this 100 rupees, X percentage is for PSB, Y percentage is for private bank, Z percentage is for foreign bank, A percentage is for small finance bank, and B percentage for UCB. Right? So I hope you have understood with the help of an hypothetical example what do we mean by share of deposit. Okay, so these are the terms I'm explaining you because you know this is a descriptive paper and you never know when you are in need of such terms, right? So you should know the in-depth meaning of those particular words. Now, what is the correct answer? Completely database question. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you cannot guess, right? Let's move forward and look up to the answer. The answer is 3.24%. Okay, the answer is 3.24%. Let us see the details of question number 4 and question number 5. Now, see, share of deposits is 3.24 percentage, and share in advance is 2.69 percent. UCB catered to the financial needs of about 8.52 crore depositors and 67 lakh borrowers. These are not important, absolutely, but since descriptive paper, if you can remember it, you are in an advantage. If you have to write something about the rural sector, right? Because this particularly this all banks cater to the rural India. Now, gross NPA asset and net NPA as of March 31st, 2020 is gross NPA is 10.96, net NPA is 5.26 percentage. Let's move forward. What is the minimum CRAR requirement for Tier 3 UCBs? What is the minimum requirement for CRAR requirement for Tier 3? So, before I proceed and tell you the answer, I would like to give you a task. And again, I would like to thank you for the good response in the comment section where I have asked you about the National Youth Day for 12 January. You all have been very much took the participation and written that. Thank you so much. Again, so what is CRAR? So this is the tasks that I'm going to give you in this particular lecture. Mention it in the comment section. This will help you in revision, and the people who doesn't know will get enlightened from your comments. So help yourself and help others. Then, what is minimum CRA requirement for Tier 3 UCBs? Tier 3 UCBs. 15, 12.5%, 9%, 20% on none of the above. So the answer to this question is 15%. Again, this is data-based question. You know means you know. If you don't know, you cannot guess. Right. Now, prescription for Tier 3 UCBs. Right. Minimum CRAR of 15% as applicable to small finance bank. Okay. So the reason we have taken this question because of this word. So Tier 3 UCB is at par with small finance bank when it's come to CRAR requirements. Right. Now, all these points are not very important. If you want to go ahead and read it, pause the video, just read it once or twice. Certain thing will settle in your mind. Now, let's move forward with the next question. As per the extent policy of RBI, capital requirement as per the entry point norms for, okay, so entry point norms is known as EPN. Okay, for general category UCB at an A center is dash crores. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 10, and 20. Again, completely database question where you cannot make a guesswork. So the answer is 4 crores. Okay, it's 4 crores. Let us see the details. So, as per the extent policy of RBI, while the capital requirement as per the entry point norm, that is EPN for Universal Commercial Bank is 500 crore. Okay. For small finance bank is 200 crore. You will have to remember it. For general category UCB at A center. So what is A center? A center is equal to 10 lakh plus population, 10 plus lakh population. Initial capital requirement is only 4 crore. So this is 4 crore, right? The requirement is 2 crore for B center with population 5 to 10 lakh. So what is B center? 5 to 10 lakh population, 2 crore. Okay, then 1 crore for C center. So there are 3 centers, 1 crore for population 1 to 5 lakh. So these are important because I told you earlier these banks cater to the rural needs of the rural India. So you see a city or a place with 1 to 5 lakh population. Okay. Means very small city. So this becomes important. It's 1 crore. Right? Then 25 lakh for D center. So there is a D center as well with 1 lakh is below 1 lakh population. Population would come here. Below 1 lakh population, the requirement is 25 lakh. Okay. Let's move forward with the next question. That is, what is minimum capital requirement for umbrella organization for UCB? Now, what is umbrella organization? So I won't explain you much, but every UCB, okay, UCB has an umbrella bank or umbrella organization. Sorry, okay, and this particular organization is responsible for. So they have a different set of regulatory, right? So it is not the regulator. I mean, you urban organization is not the regulator or not the boss for UCB. They do not dictate terms. So what they do, they help them with the technology, they help them with the training, they help them with the manpower, they help them with the cash, they help them with the technology, right? So that is the basic thing about our umbrella organization. So what is the minimum capital requirement for umbrella organization for UCBs, right? It's 500 crore, 750 crore, 350 crore, 450 crore, or 300 crore. So the answer to this question is 300 crore is the right answer. Okay. Again, this is a database question. You know means you know, you can answer. If you don't know, you cannot make a calculative guess. Then let's move forward with the description. So, umbrella organization, the UO is expected to play a crucial role in strengthening of this sector. For that, it must be financially strong organization with adequate capital and a viable business plan. The minimum capital for umbrella organization should be 300 crore with CRAR and regulatory framework akin to the largest segment of NBFC. Means somewhere or the other part, they are regulated at par with NBFC. Right? Now, with this, we have come to the end of this lecture. Before I say goodbye, I would like to remind you to visit the website and look up on our course for NABARD Grade A and Grade B. Right. So this is one of the most economical and best course available in the country. Why I say the best course? Uh, we would not say, rather we would ask you to go ahead and check by yourself by downloading the app from Google Play Store and going to our YouTube channel. You can find some uh, reviews of the students who are working on the respective organization and they have given the review of our course in a video. So you can watch them and make a fair decision. With this, thank you and happy learning. Let's meet in the other lecture.